I still am involved with the Pentagon, and I was able to make some calls, and I was able to get authorization to make all of you honorary military members for the next couple of hours. But in order to do that, you have to join me in a hoorah. Ready? On three. Everybody say hoorah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hoorah! Excellent. You're all officially honorary military members for the next 2 hours. So thanks again to everyone who's participating in today's event. Thank you all for showing up. It really does show your commitment and your caring and your level of understanding that the military veteran community is so important to TIAA CREF and to all of us individually. As Roger mentioned, TIAA CREF's involvement with the military community doesn't start today. It's been around for a very long time, from the beginning of the company. Back in 1918, that's right, right after World War II. And then right after World War II, when military members came home after the war, they were able to take advantage of a lot of government grants to be able to get their education. So from 1944 to 1950, we saw a tripling of the number of college graduates in that 6-year span. 600 institutions then became involved with TIAA. At that time, that was huge. So the inflation that was also taking place at the time during the 1940s also had a great impact on the company, to the point where TIAA realized that folks were also living longer. So folks in 1950 had an estimated life expectancy of 70 years old, when it was only 48 years old, not 50 years prior. So annuities weren't going to be enough to be able to sustain someone financially till the age of 70. So in 1952, they came up with this innovative program to allow for equities as part of the fund too. So I had this balanced approach of both annuities and equities. It was incredibly revolutionary, incredibly innovative at the time. A lot of it is as a result of what happened with the economic growth during the 40s and the military members coming back. So the reason you can make an argument that TIAA CREF exists today in its current form is because of the growth of the economy and the military members coming back. So there's a depth of history that this company has with military members, and I want to thank the company for being there for the military members. We all have to take a moment, I think, to salute those military members, because it's not just during the lifespan of TIAA CREF, it does go back. The other day we just celebrated the 235th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps. Thank you so much for that. So millions and millions of men and women have sacrificed and served to protect this nation. From Valley Forge to Gettysburg. From Bunker Hill to Iwo Jima. From Korea to Vietnam. From Iraq to Afghanistan. Men and women, you've got to believe that whether it was during peacetime or conflict, whether it was at home or abroad, every person who put that uniform on understand that they were fully aware that they might have to make the ultimate sacrifice and lay down their lives for this country. Every single one. I want to mention one more thing, that we do have some folks in the audience that have served in the military. So I'm going to ask you a favor. If you are currently serving in the military, guard, or reserves, if you have ever served in the military and you're a veteran, can you please rise? Stay standing. If there's anybody else in the audience who's still sitting down who has a family member or a relative that served in the military, please stand up. And the rest of you that are still sitting down, if you have a colleague, a co-worker, a neighbor, a friend, a member of your church group or your community, please stand up. Let the record show there's not a single person still sitting down in the audience. What that means is that we are all affected, we're all impacted by the men and women who have served in our military. Thank you all very much. Have a seat. So what we do know for a fact is that military members and veterans bring certain unique skills, talents, and abilities to the table. So we know that as individuals, They approach a task with a level of discipline, a level of focus, a level of efficiency that is uncommon in the workplace today. We know that they're dedicated and driven. And we know also that they understand that the impact they have is not just on their single isolated function or task. They know that they are part of a larger organization, a larger mission, a larger purpose, if you will. And that's something that I think we can all learn from in our workplace. Those unique talent, skills, and abilities are things that we can take advantage of as a corporation, aren't they? And I'll tell you from a personal perspective, it's that type of experience that changed my life. I'm going to take a minute of personal prerogative and share with you a little bit about my background. As Marilyn mentioned, I came from a small town up north called Brooklyn. You may have heard of it. A little village, a little hamlet. But I grew up in pretty austere circumstances. My parents were from Puerto Rico, and at a time when my mom grew up in a very poor area, and you still had indentured servitude back then. So her family gave her off to a more well-off family to work as a servant girl when she was a little girl. So she never learned to read or write, never finished the first month of first grade. To this day, she's been living in New York for 50 some odd years, says maybe 10 or 12 words of English. She knows how to say, hello, how would you get the heck out of my way? That's the extent of it. So I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and we grew up in New York. My parents divorced when I was 2 years old. So my mom had no skills, no training, no talents or abilities to be able to stay in family of 4. So we ended up on welfare. So I grew up on welfare. Hungry a lot of times, going days without eating anything but ice cream and salt. Homeless at times even. Right? So, and I remember distinctly times where my mom would come home at 3 o'clock in the morning with some takeout food, and all that fear, anger, desperation would disappear because there was food. And I attacked it with my hands, like it's basic survival. So my way out of that environment was to join the military at 17. Fortunately, I was still fairly smart academically. So at 17, I joined the military as my way to get out of that environment in New York. But at the same time, I realized, I knew in the back of my mind that this was my way to give back to my country. Because in spite of whatever circumstances I had to deal with as a child, I knew instinctively that there were other folks in other parts of the world that had it even worse. I knew that in spite of it all, this was still that nation of opportunity, that shining city on hills, where in spite of your race, color, creed, socioeconomic circumstances, you can make it in this country. The outcome may not be guaranteed, but the opportunity is. So it was my way to give back to my nation. So I joined the Air Force as an enlisted man, going into airborne reconnaissance. I'm going to take a minute to describe the difference in the relationship between the officer corps and the enlisted folks in the Air Force versus the officer-enlisted relationship in the Army. In the Army, you might have a brand new 23-year-old second lieutenant going up to his enlisted man saying, "Men, go take that hill." In the Air Force, you've got a 25-year-old staff sergeant crew chief telling the F-16 fighter pilot, "Sir, go take that hill." That's the difference. So in the enlisted corps in the Air Force, we've got a great deal of responsibility. So I joined in and went through survival school outside of Spokane, Washington. He was a kid out of the concrete jungles of Brooklyn, having survived in the woods outside of Spokane in the wintertime. Never thought I could make it by any means. Going through the rest of my training and getting to my duty assignment in Panama during the 80s, which for you young folks, that was a pretty exciting time to be down in Central America back then with the Contras and the Sandinistas. So at 23, I became an airborne mission supervisor for airborne reconnaissance missions, reporting directly to the White House. I was responsible for the lives and the survival of 20-some-odd people on that C-130 with me. Great deal of responsibility for a young person. It was all of that experience that led me to a place where I knew that I could contribute, that I knew that there was nothing I could not do. And it was those skills and those talents that enabled me to, when I left the Air Force, went to work for Raytheon Corporation, still in the intelligence community. Went to work in the telecom industry, climbing up the ranks to be a vice president of sales and marketing for one of the world's largest corporations in the world. Starting my own business in 2004, getting involved in the business community, getting involved in politics, doing national media, being on Fox News and CNN and all these other channels. And I still, to this day, I look back and it's surreal that all this is able to take place. I still on my shoulder, I still got that scared, hungry little kid on my shoulder But it really is a testament to the fact that this is the land of opportunity. And none of that would have been possible had it not been for my military experience. So I really do believe that military experience is a blessing. Now, how do we all honor the military members? I think we have great opportunity with this employee resource group for all of us to be able to get engaged. There are three things that this ERG can bring us. One, it gives us an opportunity to contribute to the company. It gives us an opportunity to provide the company with a wealth of insight and perspective into this community that otherwise might not have existed. It allows us to be able to retain and recruit military members to serve as employees at TIAA CREF, which is a great benefit of the company and allows us to achieve business objectives. The other thing that allows us to do is on a personal level, it allows us to do career development, to learn leadership traits, to learn what it is to be a leader in the community and make things happen and do some networking and learn other parts of the organization. So it's good for your career to be part of the CRG. But above all, I think it's incredibly important for the community. There are military members out there who are serving in the Guard and Reserves. There are active duty folks that are coming back from conflict, who are dealing with stress and strife. There are family members who need us. The family members, in many cases, sacrifice even more than the military members because they have to deal with situations back home. There are so many multitudes of ways for you all, whether you're military members, veterans, or not, to get involved and provide that kind of support, provide that kind of outreach and community involvement. That's going to be so incredibly important for the military members, their families, and the veterans. So I'm asking you, I'm urging you to be not just passive observers, but to be active participants in the CRG. Make a difference. Stand up, the time is now. There's a great opportunity right now to make a decision to be an active part of this ERG. And I'm going to say the two words that every audience loves to hear. In conclusion, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. When you go home tonight, and it's time to go to bed, and you turn off the TV, and you put the dishes away, and you tuck the kids in, and you lay down and you pull the blanket over you, I want you to think about all those millions and millions of men and women who have served and sacrificed over the last 20, 35 years to provide you with that blanket of freedom and liberty. I want you to think about all the folks, the billions, literally billions of people throughout the world who today are living under oppressive regimes or dictatorships, who don't have the freedoms and liberties that you enjoy that all too often are taken for granted. And as you drift away to dream, I want you to dream about ways that you as an individual can stand up and start supporting those men and women who serve. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you.